Hi everyone, it's Braylon and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm a special ed teacher. I teach a self-contained classroom in an elementary setting. It is so fun, and these vlogs that I keep making have really been providing me with a lot of joy. This week, I think there's going to be a lot of really good information in this vlog. We are doing a couple new units, a couple adapted little reading groups, paperwork things, and all of the in-between stuff. So it's going to be really full, but really great. Also this week, I think my afternoons and evenings are going to be a lot easier. I don't have as many events this week, which is so great for me because I've really been craving a week where I can just like de-stress every night and just have fun things to do and self-care things. And so I'm really excited about that. I have a goal for this vlog and I want to kind of use it as like my accountability partner slash journal. I have a couple self-care goals that I want to do every single day, and I used to keep track of these on Instagram where I would like list out like the things I was doing and my goals and how I was doing with them every week, and that was really helpful for me. But I think I'm going to do it on the vlog just to show everyone that I'm trying and sometimes I'm failing at managing the balance that I so desire within my life. And then I also have a couple like school specific goals that I want to accomplish each day. For the school stuff, my goal is that every day I will work for 15 to 20 minutes on things for next year, whether that's planning something or organizing something or taking inventory, sending out emails, figuring out what books I need, all of those kind of things. I want to spend 15 or 20 minutes on that every single day. I also want to make sure I get all of my IEPs done and my paperwork done. And my biggest goal for this week is to print and prep all of our data like sheets for next year. For personal goals, I have a few. My first one is I want to get up every morning and bike for at least 20 minutes. I've kind of gotten off of that the last few weeks because it was so stressful with a lot of due dates and things, and so I want to get back into that. I also want to make sure I'm eating a lot of nutritious foods and drinking water, so hopefully that's something I can do. And then every night I want to do one thing fun. That it's so minimal, but I'm looking forward to those things. So those are kind of like my daily like goals. We'll see if they actually happen. But it is now like 7:30. I showered. I need to eat dinner. I just want to sit down and watch TV and just kind of relax for the rest of the night, do a little skincare. So I'm excited, but I will see you all tomorrow morning bright and early at school. All right, hi everyone, it's Tuesday, May 11th. Yesterday was a very weird day. I got into school, I felt weird, I felt nauseous, dizzy. I was sitting in an inclusion class observing one of my students and my eyes started like glazing over, like I could tell I was going to faint. So I quickly came back to my classroom here and told my two paraprofessionals, and they were like, go home, like figure it out. So I actually ended up leaving around 10:30. I got home, I literally fell asleep and woke up to get a piece of toast, and then honestly went back to sleep again and woke up this morning at like 5:30. So I feel so much better, but yesterday, I don't know what it was. Yesterday was just really weird, but regardless, I'm here and I'm excited. So there are so many things I want to show you guys really quickly before more people start to come in. We're still doing a lot of the same things as like every other vlog, but there are just little things that are like exciting, and then definitely more things later in the week. So basically, we're still reading those comprehension like small group activities, those little bundles that I've been buying every week. This week we're starting our like food science unit for reading. I haven't really incorporated it into science yet. I think in a couple weeks, but you'll see why. So this week we're reading passages on dairy and dairy products, and we're answering our comprehension questions. That has been really chill. So let me actually take the camera over there and I'll show you a bunch of those things. There are more people walking into the building, but that's all right. This is what it looks like. This is the unit 1 on dairy, and then these are the core words. So we've been doing a lot of activities around this, and the reason I say it's kind of premature is I bought a whole pack. It's like 6 or 7 comprehension ones. I think it's like dairy, meats, vegetables, all those things. That's going to take us through the end of the school year. So I think it was one of the Teachers Pay Teachers sales. I just bought a bunch of them. And so that's been really helpful. So we're starting on dairy, and I think next week we'll move on to like vegetables. But it kind of does tie into our science, because for science, we're talking about the human body. And I'll show you guys in a second what it kind of looks like. But we're talking about the human body. And so right now we're still talking about like the brain and the skeleton and the skin and all those things. But we're going to eventually start talking about food and healthy eating and self-care and all those things as we get ready for the summer, because it'll almost be summer and I really want them to enjoy themselves. So that's kind of like where we're at. What's happening? Oh, one of the things I actually started doing is for some of the students, we're still doing those decodable books by Tara West. So this week is Max is Mad. A remote student's doing this and a few kids in person. Then I used my Smarty symbols and had them answer like the most basic questions. So asking the question and then having the answer. Students with devices, students without devices, they can answer them the same. So that's kind of where we're at. Hold on, actually, let me move this over. I wasn't here for this part of yesterday because like I said, I was really not feeling well. Yeah, let's see. What else are we working on? So in a reading, we're reading Dragons Love Tacos. I actually have the Amazon Kindle version of that book because I read with remote students and in-person students at the same time, and it's just harder to hold up a book to the camera and then to the class. And so I actually instead just I've been buying more books on Kindle because then I can project it and everybody can see it as I'm sharing my screen. So that's been like very, very helpful. So one other thing we've been working on these blends, the BR blends. So some days we do like, we brainstorm the word. It's like for like a couple minutes during the morning meeting. We brainstorm the word, or I have them practice writing some of those words, or I print off a Reading A to Z book with that blend in it, just things like that. That's been really helpful. Oh, in math, I didn't make these. The teacher next door made them. But like for simple addition, I will link down below. It's a Teachers Pay Teachers product, but it comes with the numbers and you put it here, and then I've been teaching my students to look at the number and then bring down the correct number of little manipulatives, and so that's been very helpful. Just in math, some students are working on like coins, and I've been having a really hard time. There are a few units on Teachers Pay Teachers for special ed for coins, but they take so much prep, and I'm at the point of the year where like that is not my vibe. So I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do, basically. So something else that we did is this week we are doing some stuff for Made For Me literacy, because we've been talking about like animals, and some of my students are obsessed with animals. Also in some of their ESL groups, they're talking about animals and stuff like that, and feathers and adaptations, which we touched on maybe 2 months ago. But I use a different curriculum than what the other like providers use. So I'm trying to tie that back in. So this is from Made For Me Literacy. And we just kind of went through. And so when I was out, I actually made sure that they did this yesterday. So it was like answering questions about animals. Oh my gosh, I cannot see. Tracing, stuff like that. That was a hit. I think they really liked that. I decided last week to make little writing journals because I was having them do like the guided drawing and different things every week, but I was really annoyed with like having to like pass out the papers. So I was like, how about I just make a journal, and so they know every day they're going to do 2 of those pages. So together in our writing class, we practice something, whether that's tracing or we all come to the board one at a time and write out a word or something like that. And then when we go into our small groups, we work on stuff. So I can't really show, but like it's kind of messy, but they're getting better. All around the classroom, all this art stuff is not my stuff. This is from the teacher. That this is actually like her room. We're just using it this year. So there's one student, there's another student's body, and then one here. So we traced their bodies, we let them like decorate, and then every day we talk about different things. We talk about the skull, we talk about the brain, And then today we're going to talk about like bones. So that'll take us a few days. We're going to talk about like the rib cage and the arm bone and our hand bones. And so those will be added to our bodies, like our picture of our bodies. And so that's really exciting. They've really been enjoying this, and it's helpful because I do it with the kids that are remote and in person. And so the remote kids, we more just like talk through it, and we've been like dancing to the hokey pokey and different things like that. And then at the end of our science lesson, we glue our new body part to the wall. Because yesterday was such a weird day, I didn't even like get to chat about what I did yesterday in terms of like taking care of myself. So I did bike in the morning and I was feeling fine until I got to school and felt sick. So I felt like I didn't really eat a lot of like nutritious food or drink a lot of water, but I at least like slept for a really long time, and that was really good. But this morning I did wake up and I did bike, and that was great. And I currently right now have like a great lunch in my backpack, so I'm really excited. Let's see. Oh, one of the things that my school actually emailed us about, and I'm really excited, is they said that when it comes to like our ordering for materials, like we don't get like a ton of money to order materials, but like we do get some to just kind of go through our curriculum and see the gaps in it or see like what we need. And I'm still kind of working on getting a curriculum for my classroom. But they really encouraged us to order like sooner rather than later for next year, because that way we'd be able to order from, you know, small businesses and like minority owned businesses, so that we could give them our money instead of Amazon. And even if that takes a little bit longer, it can at least have time to order and be here in the summer. And I think that's kind of a big reason I want to like take this week and take inventory. So actually, let me write my list down. All right, so I want to go down and I want to like inventory my furniture, and then I want to go through my books, and I think I don't get that much money, but I get a little bit of money. So choose a couple books that I want to order, and then the rest I think I'm just going to have to pay for myself. But I kind of want to order them now, like through my own money, so that way I have them, you know. So kind of like go through like my read aloud books, because I'm trying to plan out at least September through December for my read alouds. Go through like, I'm going to take inventory on the file folders and just like all the things that I've missed for file folders. So I don't know if other people are like me, but like throughout the school year, the file folders get moved around all the time. They get put in different bins, and I feel like I lose track of them. And also I've been on this journey of like creating higher level file folders. So things about nouns and adverbs and matching for more content specific vocabulary. So I have the places set up in my real classroom downstairs. I think I am going to spend that 15 to 20 minutes to write out the list of the furniture that I need, write out the list of the few like read aloud books that I'm going to ask the school for, and then the ones that I want to purchase myself. And then I want to take inventory on like the specific file folders that I feel like I'll need. I've already created all of my writing units for next year. They're all laminated with the like vocabulary words, and they're ready to go. It's like our writing centers I'm planning to do. And then I've already started to like create and plan out my math centers. Those were like the big projects I had in April. So they're not all prepped and ready to go, but at least I have it written in a Google Doc. I really have enjoyed prepping for next year because it's helped me kind of process what I want, what I don't want, what I want to finish this year, and how I want to close out the year. But I obviously don't want to stress about it too much. So if you are a teacher right now and you're trying to figure that out, I would just say like make a running Google document of the different subjects and things you kind of want to add. And it's also helped me save a lot of money because I've been making stuff with the energy that I actually have versus like buying it in the moment when I need it. Just want to show you all a few Lakeshore purchases. I had these at my old school, but they were purchased by my school, so I wanted them again. They have like fuzzy textured dots, so you can sound it out and then blend the whole word together. And then this is like a fun game. This was on sale. I'll never forget. This is from like years ago, from a school that I didn't even work at, but someone like gave a bunch of these to my old school. They're in like a, what are these called? A wipes bucket. They're in like a wipes bucket, but basically it has like a bunch of sight words just on them. And I'm not complaining. I also want to show my head's cut off. I don't even care. I just got this large place value thing, and then I have about 4 or 5 of these smaller ones, and I never really needed them when I taught like my K1 class because we were all just working on counting. But a lot of my students are now at this point, and it was really fun. I did the larger version, and then they had their smaller versions, and it was cool to kind of go through, and I would ask different questions. But I actually left this out the other day on my table, and we were all doing like independent math, and it was really helpful. I think one of the girls came up and just like was looking through and trying to like figure out her numbers. So that's awesome. And I have the like Unifix cubes and the base 10 blocks. And so between all of those, it's been really helpful to kind of learn some of our numbers. So I think this was like, I'll link it down below. It was on Amazon. It might have been like $30, but I really like the big one because you can kind of highlight everything that you want to highlight. Hello! It is after school. I am feeling great. I'm definitely tired, but I think today we got a lot done. They did really great, and I was really proud of them. We have a lot that we're doing this week. Like, I'm a little overwhelmed to even think about it. I don't even know how they're keeping up, but somehow they are. So we did our dairy read aloud, which was really great, and actually it tied into our science because we talked about like skeletons and the body. We read a skeleton book from Reading A to Z. And then what else did we do? Oh, we colored like the rib cage that we had and added those to our like little human bodies. And then was great because it tied in with the dairy we had talked about earlier about how you keep your bones nice and strong and all that kind of stuff. So that was really great. Let's see. During our like smaller reading groups, we've been reading a book called Dragons Love Tacos. I got it on Kindle. And then with that book, we've been doing a lot of comprehension questions. I bought a really cool boom card deck for my remote students, but my in-person students have really been loving it too. It's like, I think it was probably like made for speech therapy, but it works really well in my class. So it's relating to Dragons Love Tacos. There's a part where you can build your own taco. You can answer yes, no questions, WH questions. You can retell the story with the pictures, prepositions, sequencing, main idea, story elements, all sorts of things. So I put it on their iPads so that after we read the story, they could go and do their activities. Some of the students needed staff next to them, which was totally fine. And then we also still used the boom card deck all together, like on the board. And then in our small like center groups, we reinforced it again. It was great. And then we did a craft with the tacos. So I'll put a picture here if I can find it, but I bought it on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'll link it down below, but basically we colored like the tortilla outside, and then the main idea was like the lettuce, and then a detail was like the tomato or whatever. And it ended up looking really good, and everybody had a lot of fun. And what was great about it is it gave like an open space to talk about the detail or whatever, so students could either draw or they could write a sentence in that space, or I don't even know, they could color in something that we drew. And so everybody got to make their own little taco, and it was a hit. I loved it. I don't even know. Oh, some of my students are working on like multiplication. Multiplication is so hard to teach because it really is just about memorization. So we've been trying to hit it at like different angles. So we've been really reinforcing skip counting so that if they need to solve for something, they can skip count. And that's been really tricky, especially students who are, on the spectrum and nonverbal. It really poses a lot of challenges. But a lot of it does have to do with memorization. So we've been like doing a lot of flashcards with multiplication and doing the skip counting. And then I usually teach multiplication through repeated addition and arrays. But what's hard is like repeated addition and arrays are so like theoretical. They're not concrete enough. And so I was realizing after like 2 weeks of teaching them that, I was like, this is not getting us anywhere, because they're not really like zoning in on the fact that the array image is like relating to multiplication. I don't know. It was just like so abstract. It just wasn't clicking for my students. So I just kind of switched back to like, so basically like just going through and doing repeated addition. Skip counting, and then just, you know, working on our multiplication facts. And then I made a ton of flashcards. And so like I'd been teaching arrays and repeated addition for 2 weeks. Nothing. There was just like the concept was not sticking. We've been working on like the multiplication flashcards for 3 days, and already a few of them have gotten their zeros, their ones, their twos, their threes, and their fours just in like a couple days, because that's the way their brain works. And sometimes I've really struggled with like wanting to teach them really holistically, because I know that's like what students thrive off of, but I sometimes have to like reel back how I would want to teach and remember. And sorry, someone came in. I sometimes have to reel back and think about like how I would want to teach, and instead focus on like what works best in their minds. And sometimes what works best in their minds is the like repetition and memorization. And so sometimes it's like, oh, but I want you to understand the concept behind it. But that's just not always how their brains work, and I just have to accept it. So that's something that I've been really wrestling with. I don't know if other people can relate to that. But when you have so many different kinds of learners and so much like different types of brains and just neurodiversity in general, I think it just like keeps me on my toes and thinking like, I know how to teach this concept, but then like I'm like, oh wait, no, I actually don't, because the way that they learn is so different. And so I have to like shape my teaching to meet their needs. And so I don't know, it's just been such a process, but that's some of the stuff that we did today. Probably not that exciting, but I'm gonna finish kind of just wrapping up the day and putting everything together for tomorrow. And I will catch up with you all maybe tonight. Yeah, maybe tonight or tomorrow, depending. We'll see. All right, it's me. About 20 minutes later, I finally left, finished up some stuff, and I'm actually in the drive-through line at Taco Bell. I just wanted Taco Bell, so we're gonna do it. I have a big night planned. I'm gonna go home. I don't know if this is worth it, but I'm gonna work out even though I just ate Taco Bell. And then, what else? Then I have 2 movies I want to watch. I want to watch She's the Man. Then I want to watch Josie and the Pussycats, because one of my favorite podcasts just released an episode about it, and I've never seen it, and I feel like it's an important thing to watch for everyone. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I don't know, I just need a little balance in my life, you know? I'm just gonna watch it by myself. And I'm gonna get myself some ice cream. So we're really thriving. Hi everyone. Welcome back. It's Wednesday after school. Today was actually like a really weird day. Like, it was interesting, but it was weird. So I actually wasn't in my classroom all day today. I basically treated it like I was having a sub for the day. I literally locked myself in the corner of the library and worked on my standardized tests, and I got most of them done. I'm like mostly finished with them. I have like a few small things that I need to work on, but for the most part, I'm done, which is incredible. I feel great about it. It's just like little comments, and I'm just gonna give it to like the person like above me, and they're just gonna check them like one more time, but we have to submit them by the end of next week, I think, to the state. So overall it's looking really good, and I just needed this day to just kind of like complete it all. So I did a lot for my different checklists. This morning I did wake up, I did bike, it was great. I did shower, drink a lot of water, so I'm feeling really good about that. Today, I didn't have a ton of time to work on stuff for next year, but I actually took I was getting tired of doing my portfolio, so I took a break and I decided to start making some checklists for when I do these again next year. So I took a second to think of like my timeline of like, okay, if I have to do these standardized testing portfolios again, I think I'm going to start them in August and this is what I'm going to work on. And I want to do a little bit in September and October. And so I kind of like wrote that out in a Google document. So I kind of felt like I was productive about things for next year. But it was more just like writing out checklists. I didn't have a lot of time to prep my materials. Normally on Wednesdays, I print off all the materials for next week, but I just ran out of time. But I have everything like kind of planned. So we're in a different location. Hello. Sorry, let me just get a few things. So this week for a few students, we are reading Dolphins at Daybreak. I did read a Magic Treehouse book maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. I did a different adapted one, but this is number 9 in the series and I'm really excited about it because some of my students, they love dolphins, so it was like really motivating for them. I'm basically treating my like reading time as like reading groups. So a few students are together with me for a reading group, a few students are with one of my paras for like a reading group, and we're really digging into books in the last half of the year. So the 2 students that I have, one of them can read the actual novel, and then one is reading the adapted book from the Sherlock Center. I've shown this like a billion times, and it comes with like the symbol supported chapters, and the chapters are like greatly reduced, and so it's just focusing on like the most important information. Then I printed off a novel study from Special Needs for Special Kids. It's a great Teachers Pay Teachers store, and I think this was like $6 or $7, and it has an activity for every chapter, and they're really modified. So it comes with like, again, the core words, which is perfect. You can do things like talking about the title and the author, and then each chapter comes with one activity. So I think this was chapter 1. We had to highlight which part like was a nightmare and which was a regular dream because that's in the story. Then let me see. Then we're going to sort the animals. And it's just so awesome. You can do errorless versions, and then you can do versions for students who are able to handle more choices. What I like is that this seller uses the like Tobii Dynavox symbols, and so that's really helpful for my students with devices because it matches up with their device. In the morning was we talked about like how to make a hamburger because we've been talking about food, and I just found like a hamburger craft. Honestly, I was just like excited for them to do a craft. So I printed this off like how to make a burger. Then I gathered like free symbols about the different elements of making a burger, and they had to sequence them together. I also forgot to share that the stuff that I prepared for my staff today, I bought it from a pack from Adaptation Station. It's like $4 for her like substitute pack. A lot of the stuff is too low for a lot of my students, but I like to buy them sometimes anyway for like days that I'm out or days that I know I'm going to be like doing a bunch of meetings, because I give them as like alternative extra stuff. I feel like as a teacher, like if I have downtime, I know I can fill it with like little activities that are in the back of my mind. When it's like a paraprofessional or like an actual substitute teacher, they might not have all of that like running in the back of their mind. So I like to print extra stuff. The one that we did today, I think it was like a summer themed or like food themed. So it was like hot dogs and hamburgers, and it had like word searches and like art activities, life skills, stuff like that. So I printed that off, and that was like a big hit. So they did some things like reading a hot dog poem or their favorite foods, and it was just something to like fill the time. All right, I feel like I've worked so hard on all of my portfolios today. I did so much work today. I need to leave. I need to go home. I'm excited to go home. I really want to watch, what did I say I wanted to watch? What am I watching? Oh, I started this show called The Nevers on HBO Max, so I really want to get into it. It's kind of confusing, but I'm going to give it a fair shot, and I want to make myself a nice dinner, and yeah, and then I think I have like one Zoom call. I'm just gathering all my stuff. I think I have like one Zoom call with a friend, and then that's kind of it. So I just want to be out of here as I put on my backpack. I want to be out of here. It's time to go. Oh, I can't forget my AirPods. Hold on. Okay, now I really need to go. Oh, my cell phone. Oh my gosh, guys, this is about to be a train wreck. Hi everyone, I'm back home. I got super sidetracked when I was leaving and I started talking with two of my coworkers, and it was just like the most amazing and uplifting conversation. They were just telling me about their lives and happy things and sad things, but we were just talking about like students and this school year, and I don't know, it's just really great. I never really had people at my previous school that were like friendly that I would like talk to. We were all so busy and just kind of working, like it wasn't that type of environment. But I feel like my school now, people are so kind, and on Wednesdays we all have half days for students and then full days for staff to do like meetings and professional development and stuff like that. So we always have a little bit more time on Wednesdays to like chat with people, and it was just like really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I wish I could show you their faces or like talk about them, but obviously I can't because they're not on like social media. But overall, it was like a really great afternoon. I came home and I'm actually gonna do a yoga class, and I ordered myself some food from this like vegetarian place. I got a nice salad. Oh no, I think I got ramen, actually. I got ramen, veggie ramen, and an acai bowl and kombucha. So I'm like thriving. So I'm gonna do my yoga and then I'm gonna move on. My plant light, which let me turn my plant light on. Wait, hold on. There she is. So cute. Maybe one day I'll do a plant collection tour because I think I'm up to about 50 something plants in this apartment right now. And that's insane. So I ordered tofu and veggie ramen. I'm very excited. And then I ordered a nice acai bowl to go after. But I didn't really have a big breakfast, and I've really been like working super hard all day. And when I work out in the mornings, I just want like nutritious food. So I felt like a ton of vegetables and like a broth. I don't know if this broth is meat based. I don't eat a lot of meat, but I don't know. Let's see. Yes. No, it's definitely mushroom based. But I'm not a picky eater. I just don't really eat a lot of meat. And I will only really eat meat if I'm like out at a restaurant. That doesn't happen very often. I probably eat meat like once a week, honestly. But I'm not against it. It just doesn't make my body feel as good as like vegetables do and fruits. So I kind of avoid it. And it's really helped me. I think that's like one of the biggest things for me in terms of like maintaining my health through the school year is like I work really hard to eat like really good food, and sometimes I just want like Indian food or like whatever, but Indian food is actually still probably pretty good for you. But I love like making sure I eat really healthy food because I struggle to sleep at night. I struggle to get up in the morning, or to have the energy to like teach kids all day. Even if I eat like something that's not healthy-ish, I like really suffer. And also like I have a lot of like food allergies, and I really struggle with that too because I'll get like groggy and like brain fog, and then I just can't teach as well. So I'm like really conscious of my diet. But I avoid posting like a lot of food things on my YouTube because I never want people to think that's like one way to eat. But I saw Maylene post a video about like her food for the week. I thought, I don't know, let me know if you want to see it. I mostly eat like vegetarian, although I do eat some meat occasionally, like I just said. But that was like a really fun video for me to watch and get some ideas. But I don't know, maybe I should post that, or maybe I should wait till like the new year when I have like more energy, like the new school year. I don't know. If you've made it this far in the video, let me know in the comments. Hello everyone, it's Thursday. I have a lot of stuff that I need to do. I'm kind of upset because I left my phone in the bathroom. I left it on like the ledge where like little trinkets should go, and then I forgot it there. I came back and it was next to the toilet. So I started to spray it with Lysol, and I don't know who moved it, but at least it'll be clean now. Ooh, I don't know. But anyway, today great day. I started the day with 3 students because today is like an important holiday in some of my students' religions. And so I started with 3 students, and then 1 student went home sick. So by like 11 o'clock, I only had 2 students and 3 staff. It was such a joke, but we did what we had to do, and we spent a lot of time doing like centers. Sorry, there's other people in the building. Spent a lot of time like doing like centers, and I got a good amount of time with each of those 2 students to kind of do more specific interventions. One of the students, I just want to brag for a second, they started the year really rough, and then when we were remote, it was really spotty, and we were basically starting at like preschool like skills, like early learning skills. And so we have grown so much. We know our sounds, our blends, and it's just been amazing to see. They're catching up with their peers basically, and so it's really exciting to see that they will be able to do some inclusion stuff in the future, and they'll be able to like participate in it and not feel out of place. So it's really, really great. But there are a few things that I do want to show today. All right, so I saw this on Instagram. I think Sophie posted it from Where I Ought to Be. She's great. You should follow her. She gives great tips and makes a lot of reels. So she talked about like chunking schedules. And so basically, I have a few students who they keep asking me like, when's snack, when's recess, when's lunch, when's whatever. Even though we have a schedule right there and they have their personal schedules, it doesn't even matter. So I actually made this little thing. It's just paper, so it can be like thrown away, and it helps them kind of visualize just this chunk. So instead of seeing the whole schedule or seeing their smaller schedules, it's like a very clear chunk of time. So the biggest thing is like what happens before lunch. That was like such a disaster today. So I quickly made these so it's like goes through the things that we have before lunch. Yes, snack, but snack is really short. Recess is pretty long. And then there's like a break time after this right here, a break time after this. So yeah, before lunch. So this really helped. I can't even believe it took me this long to do it, but it helped so much.
I mean, there are no words.
I'm just like really thirsty, so I'm getting a kid juice. So, I want to talk a little bit about inclusion. I feel like I don't talk about it enough, and it's really something that it's either like a great thing or a really challenging thing. I try really hard to have my students included all the time, but it really depends on like the schedule of the other people. It also just kind of depends on like the availability of my staff. So it's been a journey. Like it's been such a journey. And in my previous job, I didn't have to do inclusion like this. And so I think it's just been like a learning curve. One of the areas that it's just confusing. So one of the areas that my students are the best at is reading, but one of the areas they struggle the most in inclusion is also reading. And that's because when you're in a general ed class, it's like shared reading and like much deeper, richer discussions with other kids. You have to wait your turn. You have to be able to interact with other kids. It's not just this like reading in solitary confinement type of a deal. And so even though I try to mimic like reading groups, it's really different when they go to inclusion and they have to be participating in like a reading group or like a reading class. So the books that the first grade is reading right now is this, Jade and Toussaint, and I'm excited about these. They're working on the first one right now, and they're moving on to episode 2 or the second one. And what's really cool about these books is that there's like a lot of visuals in it, and like even some parts can almost look like a comic. And they did okay. Some of my first graders were like, they could decode the whole book. But when it came to the deeper themes in the book, that was tricky. And so sometimes I've had inclusion classes where I've not known what they're teaching ahead of time, or they haven't decided on the book until the day of. And so it's really hard to like plan for. But because they read the first one and they're moving on to reading the second one, I'm hoping that I have enough time to go through this. So for some third graders, they're reading the first of the wild robots. I did not have enough notice on that, and so that has been really tricky. My third graders, a few of them can participate, they can hear this, but we've had to pre-read the whole thing, give them notes on the like wording of the book, and then basically then they can go to class and like try to participate. But then it makes them feel more shy because in the discussions they're like, the third grade's like going back in the text and like looking for proof, and that's just harder to do when you're just basically trying to scrape by and read the novel. So this is the second one in the series, so I'm hoping that I can adapt it and at least be like a little bit ahead of it. So usually I give like a core words for each chapter, a couple main themes for each chapter, and so they have something in front of them, and then we will go in the morning, now that I know more, we'll go back through and we'll put sticky notes on that chapter and figure it out. And what I mean by the morning is that for a lot of my inclusion students, whether they're barely with me or they're with me for like half the day, or if they have staff with them, they're usually here right in the morning for about 45 minutes. That's like our breakfast time, our morning meeting time. Some of them do go to their inclusion classes, but I've kind of given them a choice. And for a lot of them, they have a little bit higher language and like more skills. And so they can kind of tell me what they want to do. And because of like the anxiety of going into a classroom that's really challenging, they usually opt to come in here for about 45 minutes. So I basically like give them a chill space and take like 10 minutes to yourself off the bus and then come find me. And so then they'll come find me. And usually their disabilities are more focused on like anxiety or autism, but like really, really high functioning ability to like socialize and keep up in class with the pace. And so yeah, they're just like, I have a few of them that they're just like really killing it this year. So then they'll eat their snack, then they'll come to me and we'll go through a couple things, and then I kind of like pack their backpack up with the materials that they're going to need for their inclusion day, and they go ahead. Sometimes we'll even do like some of the math concepts if the teachers have given me enough notice. But yeah, so I'm hoping that, sorry, long story long, I'm hoping that I'm able to do this. And I wanted to share that, and I'm hoping to make a better video in the next couple months about inclusion, because obviously every school is different, but there are things I feel like I had to learn the hard way of like how to ask for materials and how to ask for support, or for them to kind of just like keep me in the loop that I wasn't aware of before. And my school's pretty like rigorous, and so they move at like a really fast pace. That's what they're known for. They like move at a really fast pace, and they care a lot about their standardized testing scores. And so it just means that my students have to be even more quick with it. But they're doing really well, and I'm like really proud of them. And yeah, we're just going to keep going with it. I just got an email confirmation that all of my packages have arrived at my house. I can't wait. Today I will do a nice little unboxing of all the very random things that I've purchased, but I'm very excited. They're more like self-care things. I want to show you some of the things. I want to show you some of the things in the classroom that have been amazing this week. We just got this new slant board. I don't know where it's from, but I'll link a similar one down below. I love them. And actually the OT told me that if you ever have old like politician signs that are made with this like corrugated plastic, those are really, really good. And you can also buy this at Home Depot. Not this, but the plastic. And you just put yourself some Velcro and you can make your own. So I forgot to share. So earlier today, I took a student on a job, and we went downstairs and we took inventory of the books that we have, because they really like books. And so we just kind of went through the books that I have in my like classroom downstairs, like my real classroom, not this one that I'm using right now. We looked at just like what books are like science books and whatever, because we had a lot of time to kill because I was down a lot of students, and so they really helped me. And then I talked with my paraprofessionals because they're both staying with me next year, and I was like, I really want to get like, you know, more books and like new books, and I want to put in a big order for myself so like I can own them, but I want to make sure they're titles that I love. And so I've had a running list of more books that I want, and I asked them if they had heard of books that they wanted, and so we kind of compiled a list of like 25 or 30 books, and I think I'm going to put in that order tonight. I'm going to look on thrift books, I'm going to look on first books, and then the rest I'll just do on Amazon. And I know it's going to be expensive, but I buy so many books anyway, and I don't know. It's kind of worth it to me because I love books, and so I'll just own them, and I'd rather own them than like try to get my school to buy some of them because then they won't be mine, and it's a whole big thing. So we have a good list. So that was kind of the big thing that I did for next year, is just kind of go through my books and figure out the books that I want and some of the read alouds that I want to have. All right. Hi everyone. I just got home pretty recently. Yes, I still have a wreath, but it's too high to even get, so it's going to stay there all year. I actually just got off the phone with my dad. It was like the most beautiful conversation. Low key, he was giving me like dating advice and like he's just like the biggest like supporter of my life and a feminist, and I love him so much. So anywho, I thought I would show today my after school fun thing, which is unboxing all of the things that I've bought. Today I already worked out in the morning and I just didn't really want to do much this afternoon. I bought some ice cream. I went to like CVS and got a couple things. Some things came in the mail, and I'm just really excited to unbox them and open them up. The first one being I ordered something from Glossier, which is like a makeup skincare type company, and it's well, basically I love them so much and I order from them often, but I needed a couple like replacement things, but it just makes me so happy. I love makeup. With the mask, I just can't wear makeup that much because it gets all over the mask and it makes me so upset. So I don't know, it's just like a really good brand. I use that cleanser in the morning. I get this like really simple, it's almost like Barely There concealer. It's like very natural looking, but I wear that a lot on the days that I'm not wearing too much makeup. And then, sorry, I was crying, so I really look a hot mess because my dad's just the best. And then I also got, this is kind of like a liquid eyeshadow type of thing. It's like a tint and I love it. I put that on a lot. I went to the like CVS and I got a bunch of random things. This is the primer that I've been using most recently. It's from NYX. It's like a honey primer. It's like a little bit tacky and it makes everything kind of look a little bit more dewy, which is like what I've been going for. I needed Q-tips. That's cute. What else did I get? Oh, some people tweeze. I use these little like thin razors for my face. It's great. What did I get? Oh, actual razors. Sorry, you know, this is life. I got a new moisturizer. This was on sale and it's CVS, so I had like my coupons and stuff. It's from Physicians Formula. I use some of their other stuff. I think this is meant to be pretty hydrating. I normally use either a Glossier moisturizer every morning, or there's one that I really like. I forget what it's from, something else, Fenty or something like that. But I'm almost out of it and I didn't really want to go to Sephora because if I step in Sephora, I'm spending $500 and I'm not about that today. So I just bought that one. It was like on sale and hopefully it will be okay. I saw that it was a dupe for some of the other ones that I like, and I'm gonna hope for the best. And then I got a really simple BB cream because as it gets closer to summer, I do like to wear makeup, and I probably won't be wearing as many masks because I'll be outside, and that way I can actually like look real and actually have SPF in my BB cream. Then I needed more, you know, the huge. So that was like a good portion of stuff. I want to show, where are my scissors? Oh, here they are. I have been watching Maylene do this for now about a year. So she does nail dip powder. I always either paint my nails or use gel, but it's not very good for your nails. And I usually have really strong nails, but recently I've been realizing like I want to get my nails to like an even better place, and I like to keep them long. And during the school year, I don't keep them very long, but I kind of want to start growing them out for the summer. So I ordered an e-file, which is what Maylene uses on her nails when she does nail dip. If I can open it. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh, so it's basically like electric, and it files and buffs down your nails. Has a bunch of different like bits and sanders for your nails. It's perfect. It's very like safe. I bought like a safe one. So I got that, and then I got a couple more things for my nails, just like a new file, a buffer, a brush, some cuticle things, and then the cuticle cutter. And I ordered a bunch of nail dip powder. In the meantime, I have some that I was given a while ago. It's from a different brand, but it's like, I think you can buy it at Sally's. I'm really excited because I love doing my nails. It is like honestly something that brings me so much joy. So because of Maylene, I ordered a lot of stuff from her. Like not her, but her like link, and got a lot of more of the supplies. I already have a bunch, and I have a little cart that I put like all my regular nail polish and my gel and the whole process on there. So yeah, I might just sit and like, I don't know, watch a little show and try and like do my nails. I'm really pumped about this. All right, it's much brighter over here. I'm sitting at the computer. I have a Zoom call with a couple friends just for like a few minutes before, just to like check in, say hi. We usually just kind of like touch base. Some of them live here, some of them live internationally. So this is like the best time to do it. And then I will get started on my night routine and all that stuff. But I'm going to end tonight here, and I will see you all in the morning. All right, hi everyone. It's after school on Friday, and normally I would be gone. Like, as soon as the bell rang, which the bell doesn't even ring here, as soon as the last bus is called, my car would have been out the parking lot. But I actually have dinner reservations here down the street in like 45 minutes. So I live like 30 to 35 minutes away, so it just didn't even make sense to leave, which is kind of good because there are like a few things I wanted to finish and a few things that I wanted to show on the vlog. It gives me a little bit of extra time, and we'll get through it. So today was a little hectic, a little busy. We were down a staff member, which is fine. I was also down a student, so that kind of helped. I just feel like it's the part of the year where kids are just kind of like emotionally checked out. So we were kind of struggling to get them to like even want to participate. Like I had someone came in for like 45 minutes just to help me with some of the academics because I was down some staff, and the person who was helping me was like, oh, they really don't want to do anything. Like we couldn't even get these students to do things. They would put their fingers in their ears, they would run away. We had some minor behaviors, which I won't get too into because that's their own personal business, but it was kind of more challenging today than usual. There are a lot of things that I want to show for next week. So I probably won't be vlogging next week because there are a lot of other things going on, but I plan on like maybe making like a day in the life or something related to that because I love vlogging, but I just don't want to do the whole week. So for next week, we are going to move on to fruits. So it's the same situation, the comprehension. This has been the only product, I'm telling you, the only product I've ever purchased where I've seen progression. Very excited about that. But next week is about fruits. So there are a few things that I just have to make copies of, and I'm low-key so tired that I think I'm gonna do it, some of these on Monday morning, but we're gonna do like, you know, reviewing the names of fruits because it's not really like in the story. So we're gonna do like some flashcards of what the fruits are and maybe do like a reading A to Z book on them. Just some vocabulary stuff with fruits. Let's see. Okay, so this is just some additional practice pages for some of my students for next week. For our math unit next week, everyone is talking about measurement. I'm just across the board. We're gonna do a whole group activity measuring things, then we'll break into our groups. So I got a measurement unit. Some students are able to do measuring with actual rulers, whereas most of my students are doing like non-standard units of measure, so with cubes or little squares. So that's kind of going to be the focus of next week. We're going to be using a lot of our cubes and just kind of going around and practicing measuring and writing down the data that we collect. So I bought so much. It has like, you know, into smaller pages about looking through the measurements. There's pages where you practice writing the word length, which I kind of wish I had for some of my students in previous years. But yeah, it just kind of goes over like measurement and like what that means. So I'm excited for this. I'm just going to make a couple copies in the next like couple minutes to just put into their individual folders, but I think that's going to be a hit. In our writing unit for next week, we are talking about writing emails. So I might show that in a vlog, like a daily vlog next week, but basically we're going to practice. We're going to talk about like how to make a greeting. What does a greeting look like? And then signing our name at the end, like a signature on an email. And then they're going to draft their emails and then they're going to type up their emails. And I emailed, how many times can I say email? I sent an email a bunch of teachers just saying, hey, heads up, like my students really like you, like they might be wanting to send you an email sometime next week. And they were all like, of course, send them, like we love it. So that was really great. So this is a product from Breezy Special Ed, which you don't have to buy. Honestly, you can just like practice emails, but we're gonna practice, like, I think you can see it, like writing it out, and then we'll send it in the mail. And look, my nail. Are you kidding? It chipped away today and I was very upset. So, yeah, that's what we're doing in writing. For a few students, one of like the biggest goals that we're trying to work on are WH questions. And some things are sticking, some things are not sticking. So we are just starting at the basics. What? That's all it is. So I have a couple practice pages of like what, where they'll have to find them. I think I'm going to laminate these or just put them in sheet protectors. And then each day they're going to practice writing the word what, talking about it, and then they'll practice actually finding what. So I don't think I need any more copies of that because we're going to reuse them day to day. Sorry, this table is really shaky. One of my students is working on the words like I see and I like. So I have a subscription to Smarty Symbols, which is kind of like Boardmaker, but also you can see what other people have made, like the other templates. So a lot of times I just go through and see what other people have made and I just print off from there. So I printed off this sheet that just has like I see, I like, I want. And then I found a bigger one. I don't know, somebody's here. That says I see a, and then they can fill in the blank. So I just kind of wanted these sentence starters. So I actually need to go to the dollar store. Maybe I'll do that before I go out to dinner. But I printed a bunch of data sheets. And so today, my like one task for getting ready for next year was going through the IEPs that I know I'm gonna have and basically figuring out what data sheets I want. And so I made folders for them on my Google Drive for each student. Obviously can't show you that. And then I printed off a bunch of data sheets from especially education. I've had these for a few years. Okay, I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you for listening to my various ramblings and coming with me through the whole week. This has been so much fun. And so I am going to be here just making a couple copies and I need to leave in like 15 minutes because I've been sitting here making Instagram stories and talking on the vlog and I'm running out of time. But you all are amazing. You all are the best. And I'm so grateful for this community. The community we have is healthy and is trying to make sure that we're better educators and living our best lives while doing that. And I'm just honored that you guys watch me. So I will see you on Instagram. I'll see you in the next couple of videos. I'll see you around. We'll talk soon. Bye.